All right, welcome to another episode of the Freezin NFC North Podcast, episode 53, 2023 NFL season schedule release, and Packers to the Cellar. I know Jim's going to have some issues with that. We'll talk on that soon. So welcome back, as always, Seventh Letter. How are you doing? Drinking the Kool-Aid, it looks like?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Doing well, man. Doing well.
Very good.
Ready to wrap up this NFC North already. Why not?
It's possible. It's possible. And we also have Tip Major joining us, and he has an article that he's written about the Lions. Welcome. Where can everyone find you as we get started?
So you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. My Twitter handle is LWOS straight tipping, and that's TIPPING. That's where you can find me there. On Facebook, just Tip Major with 2 P's. Like you give a waiter a tip, and Major like you are in the Army. So there you go.
All good stuff. And joining us for the first time is someone actually I met on the NFC North Trash Talk group, which I actually got kicked out of, by the way.
Wow.
Jim Bissett, I believe. How are you doing?
What were you saying? Jesus Christ.
I don't. It was interesting. We'll just say that. So,
I imagine.
Welcome, Jim. You kind of in the dark. Are you with Aaron Rodgers right now?
Yeah.
No, sir. He's moved on anyway.
Back, huh?
So.
Well, as we get started, obviously, the schedule release, and it's a perfect time for everybody to kind of look at the schedules and see who is going to do good, who's going to do bad, and all that, and just kind of prognosticate about the future. Always fun to do that this time of the season. Everybody is, positive about the season. Even Packers who are going to be in the cellar are positive, about where they're going to be. So there we go. But drink the Kool-Aid, since we've got the Lions on, and they are the presumed favorites right now. So we're going to go ahead and start on the Lions. And this is such a weird thing to say, but the Lions as front runners. Seventh Letter, just kind of open us and talk about kind of that and what your feelings are so far as you kind of saw the schedule and now you're getting ready for the season.
Well, I think everybody kind of from the draft and everything, I don't think they paid attention to what we did in free agency. And now that people have gotten a chance to look at the full picture, the draft, the free agency, our schedule, now everything is starting to make a little more sense, which I kind of felt then. But, you have your people that you want in the draft, that the media and the ESPNs and everybody says the Lions are supposed to pick and what we need, and they forget, and then it makes you forget that you watch the games. You kind of got a good idea of what you need. I love the fact that we're starting off with the Chiefs. I love it. But I do want them Seahawks. I want them bad. From what happened last year, but we didn't have enough on defense in the secondary to do anything with them. And that's why they kept scoring and then play action and then running the ball down our throat. We got everything we need. Everything. Week 1, whatever happens. Week 2, that's the one I want. I want the Seahawks bad. My division, I ain't too much worried about it. I want the Bears because I don't know what's going on between us. You know what I mean? Lately, like we've been doing a lot of, and I'm like, why are we both kind of ass? Like, why are we acting like this? You know what I'm saying?
It's a family affair now with Noah Sewell.
Like we talking crazy
to each other. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
well, speaking of kind of bringing, something to the discussion, Tip, now you wrote an article. Talk about that article and what are your thoughts on the Lions going into the season?
I think the Lions look good, in all honesty. I think they made some.
Oh, Jim, yeah.
I think they made a horrible move with Montgomery, but otherwise they look good. Yeah, their secondary is a little lacking. However, the rest of their defense looks good. I like their line, their linebackers. I think they look good on both sides of the ball except the secondary. They're going to be contenders.
So yeah, what are your thoughts, Tip Major, on that one?
Oh, yeah, real fast.
Yeah,
my secondary is all right.
Yeah, CJ Gardner. I was just about to start with CJ Gardner Johnson.
A whole bunch of money there, bro.
He's in my article. He's in my article. Shout out him. 6 interceptions last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. Bring some toughness, some grit over there to the Detroit Lions, which is something that they've been cultivating over the last couple of years, is what I feel and what I've seen. But as far as the Detroit Lions as a whole, from what I've been seeing this offseason and even in the draft, I mean, they had a couple of head scratchers, especially drafting Jamar Gibbs. But then when I saw that they traded Swifty over there, I was like, okay, now I see what they're trying to do. Trying to get out Swift. You know, he's been injury prone, and then they're trying to bring in somebody younger, somebody dynamic like Jamar Gibbs. And so my overall take on the Lions is it's their division to lose, man. I mean, they are gonna do some damage in there. The only thing that would stop them would be injuries, of course, and that's anybody you talk about. But man, with Coach Campbell over there biting kneecaps off and doing something stuff, man, it's gonna be something to watch. I really do feel like they're gonna feast this year.
Now, I want to push back on something that obviously Jim said, you know, and I've heard from other people too that they're not all that excited about the secondary. You know, there's a reason the Eagles let Gardner Johnson go. I mean, why is he a good fit with the Lions? I mean, he wasn't good enough to stay in Philadelphia, right? I mean, why is he going to be good? Tip, go ahead. Yeah.
So for me, I just feel like Gardner Johnson is going to bring a grit to that team. Another guy who is about that life. He's a hard-nosed player. I don't know if you guys saw that. You know, he was actually he actually talked bad about Michael Thomas here recently, where Michael Thomas was, you know, he's been, for the lack of better words, non-existent for the last 3 years. And has some choice words to say about Michael Thomas. And I feel like Gardner Johnson is going to continue to bring that grit and that determination that they need.
Well, from what I hear, CJ Gardner Johnson kind of did what Jamal Williams did and tried to play with the market a little bit. And by the time because he wanted a bigger contract with the Eagles because he had the 6 interceptions. And I felt that they felt like they needed to bring back Slay and Bradbury. And they kind of couldn't afford him at the end of the day. You know what I mean? They had to pay the quarterback. So they didn't have enough, you know, they didn't have the monetary means to keep him. But by the time he had to sign with somebody, that's why we only got him for 1 year. And when we drafted Branch, who kind of does the same thing, I think it's good that he sits under him for a little bit. But what CJ Gardner Johnson brings to us is like that he fits the mold of what we like in a football player. And we needed it most there in the secondary. Like linebacker is one thing. Right? We drafted Jack Campbell for that. Hopefully he pans out. He was looking very slow, and his ex-teammate was busting his ass this week in rookie minicamp. Like Laporta was giving him the business. And I don't like tight ends that much, but I like that boy.
Laporta is the truth, man. He's gonna be dynamic.
Real.
See, you know, I'm an Iowa guy, and I wasn't 100% sold on Laporta in the in an NFL, but I mean, it's obviously, it sounded like far and away he was one of the best players at the camp. So that's a good sign right there. And when you look at the schedule, obviously KC is a really tough at KC to start everything up. I mean, are you kind of like conceding? Are you guys both conceding that KC is going to win that game?
Yeah. Okay. So look, this is my take on it. KC is going to, they're getting their, the ring ceremony, they're opening up, but I just feel like it's going to be a super close game. KC's going to come out on top that game. They're going to come out on top, but the Lions are going to fight, and they're going to show a grit and toughness to the NFL audience, to the world. They're going to show them something different. But they're going to lose that. I feel like, I was looking at I was like, man, what would the over-under be on that game? And I'm high 50, or I would say low 50s, 52, 53. Yeah. I'm thinking it's going to be up there, especially, first game of the season. Defenses aren't where they are just yet. Mahomes is Mahomes. So I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game, but I do see them losing it at the end. The one matchup that does intrigue me is the Ravens matchup. That right there, that's gonna be fun to watch. I'm really excited to see what the Ravens are gonna do this year. So that's gonna be a fun one to watch.
Well, I think we're gonna win. And you know why I think we're gonna win? I think we're gonna win because I don't think they really know what we are yet. I don't think we do either. But one thing about my team is when we play better teams, we play up. You know, and the way Campbell coaches us, I don't know what he got. But when we didn't have anything, and we would lose those 3-point games against playoff teams, you know, like it was like it's something about that coach. And with more talent around, you know, to work with now, the personnel is there to compete. And I think Jared Goff is going to play well because he played well before against the Chiefs. He's my son. You know, he's a baby. You got to pat his head and rub his shoulders and make sure he's okay. You know what I mean? But if you let that clown get confident, you know, like it was a pain. But the Packers went down and scored on us the last game of the season, and he nodded his head, got up, and threw that thing across the field 50 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like something about him. He has this quiet confidence, and he's steady. And I'm just used to, I guess, because I'm an emotional guy, I don't understand people that aren't that much. You know what I'm saying? And the way Matthew wasn't that way either, but the way he played, that gunslinger attitude, and I was used to seeing that for 12 years. You know what I'm saying? And once that left, I had to get used to this guy. But I like him because he wins games that Matthew Stafford loses for us. We never beat the Packers twice in Matthew Stafford with Aaron Rodgers. Never. Jim,
what do you have to say about that?
I'm having problems getting some volume out of here, so.
Oh, no worries.
I can't really talk about that completely. In all honesty, I think Love will do just fine this season. I kind of heard something about Aaron Rodgers and, you know, switching to Love. I believe he'll be just fine. Fields has most of the pressure on him, I believe, and I think he's going to fold. Love he'll thrive.
You don't even believe that.
He's young. He really doesn't have anything to play for. I mean, like, he'll have a good time. I mean, obviously he has the starting job to play for, but you know, if he does okay, he'll keep the job. If he doesn't, then, you know, he'll be out. I believe that he'll be picked up as a backup for somewhere. Where, I don't know.
My guy Jim staying consistent. Love it. I'm good with that. And seventh letter, what's your thoughts on that?
I couldn't wait for Love season to begin. I couldn't wait. I was so excited when I found out that the dope head wanted to leave. Oh my God. I couldn't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah, one thing you got to get used to, though. You know, I know this is probably one of those, what do you call it, like a mulligan year. You know what I'm saying? I'll just, whatever happens. We're rebuilding or whatever. That's what I hear Packers fans say. It's much more easier said than going through it.
I second that. I mean, I believe that wholeheartedly. I feel like Jordan Love doesn't have as much pressure as people think that he has on him. Yes, he has to follow in the footsteps of Aaron Rodgers. That is pressure filled. That I'm not going to, say that it's not, but they're going to understand that, hey, this is his first year. He's been learning under Rodgers. He showed some flashes last year. He did, but I don't think he's going to have as much pressure as a lot of people think. I think the most pressure, honestly, is on Kirk Cousins, man.
We'll get there. I was just going to say there is. I would disagree with that on Tip. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Jordan Love, which means on the defensive pressure, and he's going to be sacked a lot. So we'll just
think more pressure is on Justin Fields, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I would agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He got weapons now. He better learn how to do a.
He's got weapons, but the thing is, last year he only threw the ball the Chicago Bears only threw the ball 377 times. So they didn't really unleash him like I feel like they will this year, especially with the weapons he's got now. So it's kind of it's kind of a step year for him too. So I see where you saying that, but I also think with them not unleashing the full book on him, or the book to him, and now him having the weapons to do it, yeah, I could see that as him having pressure too.
Yeah, and I totally, as a Bears fan, I definitely agree with that.
Y'all crowned him.
What's that?
Y'all crowned him, so
they crowned him. They crowned him too early.
They did, and I'm good with that. I think he's got all the talent. He's got, the wide receivers are going to be in the right position. As far as Mooney, he's not a number one. I do like the guy, but he even admitted, last year to being in the wrong playbook. He was
in the old playbook.
He was in the old playbook, and so there's a lot that he has to kind of show. Claypool, I think. Now having training camp under his belt, I think that'll help him. Plus, being able to, be in the right spot. Obviously they're all in the right spot now with DJ Moore. I do like, kind of where they're going. I want to talk about that a little bit later. Let's go ahead and just kind of all go around on the Lions then. So we're looking at the total, what do you see their record being? Obviously seventh letter, you said Seattle, you're worried about that game.
No, I can't wait for that game. I'm not worried. I can't wait.
So you're excited.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I don't know. Seattle has
Atlanta win. Green Bay win. Carolina win. Bucks win. Ravens, we might lose because something about them purple jerseys. They always kick a long field goal to beat us. The Raiders win on Monday night. I'm going to kill that clown.
You're gonna win the bye week?
The bye week we lose. The Chargers. I don't know. Something about
at the Chargers too is hard. Yeah.
Yeah. The Bears. That's a win. Fuck out of here. The
it's
Packers win.
Yeah.
New Orleans.
That's gonna be a test.
Yeah,
but I think they come out. On that.
Yeah, because
I know they're playing. I know they're playing in the dome.
Yeah, Carr's playing, and we never really had that much trouble with them. Even with Drew Brees, we never had a lot of trouble with them. The Bears win twice
at. The Bears almost beat the Lions last year at Soldier Field.
And what happened in Detroit?
Relax. Yeah. But that's fine. I'll give a split, but not at Soldier Field.
No, we beat shit down y'all leg that second game. It was over at half.
Not the first game at Soldier Field.
Guess who gave that game away? The King, the one you got the crown on. He gave that away. Denver.
I'll give you that.
Denver, we may lose because Campbell's playing his dad. And he might lose that one. Minnesota win. Dallas win. Minnesota win. Man, I don't know. I see us winning, losing like 3 games, man.
So you're gonna say 14-3? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
I want to go back and I want to get your take tip next on that record. I think Seattle's gonna be a tough game. I like what they're doing defensively. They're building like another Legion of Boom. I really like what they're doing. Seattle's gonna be a tougher game than you think.
They better stop. They better do something with the middle of that field. Okay. I mean, they did sign Wagner back, but they better do something with the middle of that field. You can run right down it through if you want.
And talk about pressure though. I feel like Goff, has pressure as well, right? I mean, you got Hendon Hooker, and we don't know what he's going to be, but I feel like Goff needs to continue to prove it too. I hear Lions fans talking all the time, talking trash, like, Goff is this and that. And, Goff led his team to the Super Bowl. I'm just not sold on Goff yet.
All right. Well, he plays for the Detroit Lions, and you got your own problems. I'm okay with Goff. Goff was not why we lost games last year. It was the defense. He did everything he could with nothing, and then when everybody got back, we won. We went 8 out of 10 in the last game. So with you can't beat people with Tom Kennedy as your starting wide receiver. Who's Tom Kennedy, right? Who the fuck is that? Right.
You can't win with Equinemius St. Brown as your starting wide receiver either.
This is true. So you can't do anything with that. What am I supposed to do with that? What is he supposed to do? He played one game with y'all boy Hawkinson against the Seattle. Hawkinson played his ass off against Seattle.
He did.
But when it counts, he falls on the ground after he catches the ball. You know what I'm saying? No yak in his repertoire whatsoever. None. So
Yak is pretty much just looking at his game.
all that talent. Get out of here. Go over there and
Tip,
fall on the ground in Minnesota.
Go ahead.
So as far as my record for Detroit, I'm not as optimistic as what was your name again?
Seventh letter.
Seventh letter. I'm not as I'm 12-5 though. 12-5 is gonna do it.
Hey!
12-5 is gonna do it. I think they always Chicago always plays them pretty good, especially in Chicago.
Yeah.
So I think they could lose that game. But I'm 12-5 for them. You know, and as far as Goff, every year he's increased his QBR. The last 3 years, and especially since he's been in Detroit. Last year he finished 7th. I put this in my article. I was like, look, if he can get to 5, 12-5 will be easy for them because the defense was the issue. Just like Seventh Letter said, the defense was the issue. That defense is going to turn around, and that's gonna get them to 12-5. That's just how I feel.
So the Lions guys, are you guys going to bet on that one?
Who would bet you bet what? I don't what.
Well, 12-5 versus what was it? 14-3.
I think Tom got that.
Oh, Tom.
Oh, sorry, Jim, you got that. I'm gonna bet on that. All right. Let's go into obviously, we got the Lions, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say they're gonna be 11-6. So that's what I'm gonna go. Let's go ahead and look, Jim, at the your Packers schedule. So I'm gonna let you have. Can you hear us right now?
Kind of.
Okay. Go ahead and tell us. Obviously, we talked a little bit about how you're, all in on Love. Talk about the schedule if you can. What do you think their win-loss record?
I mean, I don't have the schedule memorized. I don't have it in front.
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, man. Just like a Packers.
I was going to say lots of
he acting
losses.
like you the 49ers or something.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, let's talk about the schedule. I've been on record as, if you look at this first game and you look at it's at Chicago, I don't care, how much you're in or out on Justin Fields. You look at
shit out of them.
What's that?
Y'all gonna beat the shit out the back.
Yeah, those first 4 games are looking like losses, like big L's for me.
For the
Atlanta,
Packers,
Atlanta,
right?
Atlanta has improved.
Okay.
Tremendously. They could they might go into their bye week.
Wow.
They might go to their bye week with nothing, with zeros across the board. Yeah, man.
I ain't
I
lying.
don't know what happened.
You back on?
Yeah.
So, Jim, I don't know if you heard. Tip here is saying that the Packers are going to lose all the way through the bye. Did you say that, Tip?
All the way to
I'm
bye?
looking at them right now, and I see a loss in Chicago. I see a loss at.
All right, tell them
Atlanta.
the games. Chicago, Chicago.
I see a loss in New Orleans against New Orleans. I definitely see a loss against Detroit, and the Raiders, man.
At the Raiders,
I think the Raiders are having problems. I just don't think they're going to hold up.
If he's even with them, so
I do think the Raiders are having problems too. Especially with Devontae. For some reason, I see the defense, actually being able to perform against the Raiders. I think so. Here we go. So it's Chicago first. I'm going with a loss there to my Bears. Atlanta. I don't know. I just think it's at Atlanta. Tip, you're not.
They're gonna run the hell out of the ball in Atlanta. They may run the ball 40, 50 times with Bijan and Tyler Algier. They're gonna protect Ritter.
Yeah,
they're gonna protect him, and they may let him, get a few passes. I actually see Atlanta Falcons having the least amount of pass attempts, just like Chicago did last year.
Interesting.
That's what I see. Just because of Bijan, every news outlet that I'm hearing with Bijan Robinson. I was listening to Jim Rome the other day, and Arthur Smith was on there, and he just said we're gonna put this dude all over the field. He's gonna be all over that field.
So Jim, defensively, what gives you hope? In these games, for what you've seen with the Packers defense.
Hope. I would say our secondary is great.
Yeah.
Our linebackers are sufficient. Our line, Clay Walker, I think he's a beast, but he's having on-field problems, so I don't know. He's kind of a wild card, but I think our line is okay as well. We lost Lowry and I think Preston Smith, but as long as Rashawn Gary stays healthy, he'll anchor that line. We have enough depth there too. It's just kind of unheard, unknown names, but we have depth there.
So when you look at the schedule, I mean, how many wins do you see in this schedule? So you got, obviously
realistically with Love, I would say probably 7-10.
Okay.
7 to 10.
7 to 10. Okay, so we've got here are the games: at Chicago,
loss,
at Atlanta,
loss.
I'm calling that a win. I think they're gonna go in defensively. Home with New Orleans,
loss.
Home Detroit,
loss.
Look at the Lions people coming in. At the Raiders.
That's a wash, but I'm gonna give them an L.
Okay. At Denver.
Loss.
That's a W. Russell's just struggling bad.
Yeah, Russell's. It's going to be interesting to see.
It's going to be interesting.
He got a real coach now.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to be good. We'll see what Sean Payton can do.
Sean Payton is the truth.
Home to Minnesota. No Dalvin Cook.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, our defense gives up all sorts of yards to running back, so I mean that really helps us.
It's at home. You might win.
It's at home. Yep.
You might win.
Home to the Rams.
If they're fully loaded, loss.
I mean,
fully loaded, loss.
Does that mean with Stafford?
Oh yeah, my son.
At Pittsburgh,
loss.
Jim, go ahead. What do you think they're going to beat Pittsburgh?
At Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Nah.
It's going to be a toss up there.
Wow.
And home to the Chargers.
Chargers is going to be. It's a tough game. I would say probably a loss.
At Detroit.
Go ahead, say it. Say it with me.
That'll probably be a loss.
All right.
I don't know. Campbell is coaching great. As long as the players want to play with him, then he's coaching great.
Home to KC. It's hard.
KC's going to be a loss.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
At the Giants.
Oh, that'll be a win.
Ooh.
I thought that for the Bears. The Giants are improved. I don't know.
The Giants.
I mean, they're playing good ball. I
don't necessarily believe in.
I think he sees the schedule and he's coming to terms with it. Oh, Tampa Bay's next.
Tampa Bay is definitely a win, right?
You got to win.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like Tampa Bay is they're literally tanking for Caleb Williams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Carolina, I think that's a win right there. At Carolina.
Yeah.
Some people are saying Carolina.
Whoa. The Carolina game. The Carolina game. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's at the end of the year. So Bryce, he's going to have almost a full season to get through the bumps, the bruises, the ups, the downs, the ebbs and flows, whatever you want to call. I think by that time he's going to put it together. That's going to be a loss for them.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm saying this, Jim. But Jordan Love will be at that point too, though, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean,
Carolina has a solid. They got a good defense.
Great defense. Yeah, great.
They got a good offensive line. They got a young quarterback, and he does have. If DJ Chark can stay healthy, he got an old vet.
Thielen,
over there in Thielen.
He's kind of If Dave was here, he'd say Thielen's washed. Thielen's
Thielen's
washed.
I'll tell you this.
That's what Dave would say.
If the
That's what
Packers
Dave's
don't
gonna...
learn how to stop the run, they'll run that ball down your throat too.
Yeah.
They're going to need to do that.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
They gave us 300 something after we had
think,
like a 6-game win streak. Them boys, they hard.
I think by then, Love will have it figured out. He'll be more of, settled down, calm, cool, and collected in the pocket. As long as the rookie receivers kind of catch up and stay with them, I think we're good to go. I mean, we had that two-headed monster of the run. I mean, with Dillon and Jones, I think they help them out a lot this year. And I think we get it done. Especially then that late in the season, we're gonna have it figured out.
And the one thing I continue to talk trash on the NFC North stuff, and I even joined some like Packer groups now just to talk trash. But is the defense? I think the defense is going to have to come up big this year. But I wonder, if Jordan Love can't sustain drives, like how tired are they going to be?
They're going to be tired at the end of that.
You can be good, but if you're tired, I mean, it's lights out.
Look at the Denver Broncos last year.
Yes,
right.
yes. I agreed. So I look at the schedule. I look at Minnesota. I'm going to say that's an L. And home to the Bears. Sorry, Jim. I'm going to say it's an L. So I have to 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 wins here, and that was optimistic.
I have 5.
You have 5?
I have 5.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is kind of looking at realistic. As an outsider, that might be good because then you get a higher draft pick, right? I know, Jim, you don't hear the tanking and stuff, but what are your thoughts wins wise? You said 7 to 10.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they're going to really have to turn some things around. Obviously, gelling. I wonder about are you worried about the tight ends at all?
A little bit, yeah. They're talking about Mercedes Lewis right now, if they're going to keep him or let him go. I didn't even think that they had the option to keep him. I thought they already let him go. But if he sticks around, it's going to help out the young guys real, enough in the locker room. I think he'll teach them a lot. I know that one tight end, I can't remember his name right now.
You got
Musgrave. He didn't have any catches last year. I mean, he hardly played.
Yeah.
So but the year before, he did well. So hard to say. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. We do well with tight ends. I mean, we develop them fairly quickly. So,
well, speaking of a team that's going to do well this year, let's go ahead and talk about my Bears here. And so let's go. Obviously, week 1, Green Bay, I'm saying is a win. Tip, what are your thoughts on that one?
Oh yeah, Justin Fields gonna run all over the field, and it's gonna be a sight. And then what's gonna happen is everybody's gonna start praising Justin Fields, and he's the next coming, this and that,
right.
And they're gonna forget that it's against the Green Bay Packers, but Aaron Rodgers' Green Bay Packers. They're gonna see that. I mean, Justin Fields is gonna do his thing this year, man. He's gonna really do a great job. So I definitely see the Green Bay Packers. That's gonna be a win. Tampa Bay win. Tampa Bay may be a offer candidate this year.
It might be. Jim, I want to give you so you do think like the Packers, I mean, they are going on the road. That's one thing that I would be worried about if I was a Packer fan, because anytime you have a first year starter quarterback going on the road in a rivalry game, I just it's hard to for me, even if I wasn't a Bears fan, to say, hey, the Packers can do that right away.
No, yeah, I agree. With Love, he's kind of untested. But I believe that he knows what he's doing, and he's gonna try and play like a starter, as he should. I think he has the tools. He's learned from the best. So I can't see. I mean, obviously, it's completely different than from practice to a real game. But I see him progressing and starting out strong right away. I can't see why he wouldn't be able to.
All right.
So, look at the schedule. Obviously, I picked the W. We're all picking a W versus the Tampa Bay. I think we all probably would pick a Bears losing at Kansas City. Justin Fields may do well. We'll see kind of defensively, what they do. But it's just really hard to pick against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I think around week 3, I don't know. I just don't think that the Kansas City Chiefs are like that indestructible. You know what I'm saying? Like I know Pat Mahomes is great. He's all world, but he has a tendency to get a little undisciplined at times and keep teams in games. And I think when you got like a all world guy on your team too, like a Justin Fields who can kind of extend plays and get first downs on third down, convert third downs, I think it'll be a lot closer than you think. And if you hang around and get the ball last, of course, and beat them beat the Kansas City with his legs. I don't know. I think the Kansas City. I don't know. I just don't. I'm not as afraid of them as everyone else is. I'm more afraid of like a San Fran, somebody that'll punch you in your mouth, and like really fuck you up real good. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, it is at Kansas City. Well, speaking of that, the one thing, and maybe this will surprise you. I'm actually, it's home to Denver. I'm going to actually say the Bears are going to lose that game. I am a little bit afraid of Denver's defense. And so I don't know. What are your thoughts on that tip?
Yeah, no, Denver, that defense, I mean, I just spoke about it earlier. That defense certainly wasn't the issue last year. That defense was, and it's going to be at the beginning of the season. They're going to be ready. They're going to be hungry. They're not going to be tired. Like that offense is going to be a little bit better than what it was. I do believe that, but yeah, I feel like that's going to be an L for them for sure. I do. That's going to be a tough one.
And
everybody's been talking so bad about Denver, so bad about Russell Wilson. That's only going to piss them off more. And then everybody's saying, "Oh, Coach Sean Payton, this and that." He's coming out, and it's just going to piss them off more. And they're going to surprise.
Sound like a bear, dude.
Yep.
I'm going to say, and then going on to the Washington, I think the Bears are going to win at Washington. It's going to be, so I'm going to say that's a W. I'm going to say Bears win versus Minnesota at home. So I think that's a W. The Raiders, I think that's a W too. I mean, does anybody else kind of feel that way?
No, they suck.
You think? Okay, well, yeah. I mean, you got your Las Vegas to Detroit podcast, so you're not a fan of Las Vegas?
No. He messing up that team like he did, like Patricia did mine. So I know what's gonna happen. We all know what's gonna happen. It's been done in several franchises before, so we know.
Tip, what are your thoughts on Vegas?
What's that?
It's total dysfunction, man. It's like you got some good guys on there you're rooting for. I'm rooting for Josh Jacobs all day, every day. But it's just, I'm rooting for Jimmy G, but it's just dysfunction. It just doesn't. It's like if it's put together, it's going to be really nice. But to me, it just seems like there's dysfunction. Look what's coming out with Devontae Adams. It's craziness.
Yeah.
It is
too much dysfunction. They need to get somebody in there and say, "Shut the hell up. Go out there and play some football, coach some football."
For sure.
And they don't have nobody like that.
For sure. Exactly.
Well, and kind of moving on with the Chargers, I think that's a loss right there. So it's hard for me to, it's at the Chargers, right? It's hard for me to go against Justin Herbert. Although, I mean,
how? What has he done? This is another guy that gets on my nerves.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, why? Like, he's a great quarterback for sure. Got a strong arm. Yeah, he does a lot of wild plays, but he don't win nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. What has he done? All them freaking weapons.
Well, receiver wise, what has he had receiver wise? He had Mike Williams.
Mike Williams is good.
Mike Williams runs down the field. That's all he does.
That's cool. He's 6'5". I don't want him to do really nothing else either.
No, I think Williams is on his way out. They drafted Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson's gonna take that.
Kind of, yeah. He does the same thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're gonna do with Quentin Johnson. Like, that's what he does.
I like Keenan Allen though.
Allen, but he always got soft tissue injury, man. Get him out of there. Soft tissue got to go, yeah.
I think Austin Eckler. I mean, he's going to, and obviously, Tip. He's been a fantasy football monster. And the Bears are still need to improve on their defensive line. I think they got better in the draft with some of the young players, but I think Austin Eckler is going to have a really good game against the Bears, especially at LA. I think that's going to be tough for them to stop.
Yeah, you're right. But I don't think that I don't trust Justin Herbert like that. So
remember too, Justin Herbert was hurt last year. He had a pretty nasty shoulder injury pretty early in the year.
His ribs broke.
But he tried to play through it. And that I mean, that was some of the reasons why he was very up and down last year. I'm actually a Justin Herbert fan. I think he shows toughness. He shows that grit. I mean, yeah, he's not vocal. He's not a big time, rah-rah guy like a Patrick Mahomes or, any of the other, top quarterbacks. But I actually like this. I think he's going to surprise this year. We had a podcast with a couple of friends, and I actually predicted that he's going to be my MVP this year.
Wow.
Not with that coach. Not with that coach.
Jim, are you in on Justin Herbert? Oh, can you hear us?
On Justin Fields?
No, Justin Herbert for the
Justin Herbert. I think he's the real deal.
Yeah,
I think he's the real deal. He's playing well. He's produced and he's proven that he can move the ball. So,
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, yeah. And all right, so moving on to week 9, the Saints. It's at New Orleans. I'm gonna pick my Bears.
Yeah, I can see y'all picking Carl 4 times that game.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
This will be a good game. That'll be a good one. That'll be a good one. I think. You know what? I'm gonna give you Bears that one. I'm gonna give them.
Okay.
I'll give them that one.
I'm actually Saints an L. That's
L.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so tough to play there.
That's what I'm saying. It is. Yeah. And I've actually been in that stadium. Just the whole environment's a little bit crazy. Week 10, I'm saying, some people are saying, Carolina's going to be better. I think Bryce Young, I think he can be the real deal, but it's going to take time, and he doesn't really have a receiver, right? So I think that's going to be, take time for him. So I'm going to say that's a W. At Detroit, 7th letter. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that's an L. I'm saying Detroit's taking that one.
Elvis.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what he's going to say about week 14, though. Let me see.
We'll get there. At Minnesota, I am not bought in on Minnesota this year. It is, it's in the dome basically there. It's in, the US Bank Stadium. I'm going to think the Bears almost beat the Vikings last year. Justin Fields almost did that. And my guy, Amir Smith-Marset, my Iowa guy, let one of the Lions just steal the ball away from him at the end. So I'm going to actually say that's a W. So I'm going to say, I think I'm picking the Bears to sweep the Vikings this year. I know Dave would not be happy if he was here to hear that. So what do you guys think about that game? Tip, what are your thoughts on that?
Dalvin Cook and then that rookie running back. You can't. I don't know. I just don't think he's going to replace the production of Dalvin Cook. It's tough.
I would agree. 7th letter.
Come on, man. I can never pick the Vikings in nothing.
Good man. All right. So we got the bye, and then week 14. I'm going to say the Bears are winning this one.
What? In Detroit? You lost your mind.
No. This is at Chicago. This is at Chicago.
Oh, this is Chicago?
And the Bears should have beat them last year with Justin Fields himself. It was like Justin Fields versus the rest of the Lions, and he almost beat them himself. I think the Bears we
came back on y'all. What you mean?
Was it close though? Was it close?
He fumbled.
He did
threw an
fumble.
interception.
He did.
Pick 6. He lost that game. he almost beat us. He lost that game personally.
He threw the pick six. What did he do right after he threw the pick six?
Drove him down for like 60 yards. Yeah, he ran like a 60
There you go. Touchdown. That's all that you want. You want to see your quarterback, come
then
back.
After that, we just started just rushing him because we like, he can't throw. Whatever.
Tip, what are your thoughts on that one?
Chicago's gonna take that. That's projected to most likely. It's gonna be in December. It's gonna be crazy weather in Chicago. Winds are swirling. The dome team's not gonna be ready for that.
Hey man, all right.
They're gonna lose that. They're gonna lose.
Dan Campbell gonna have us in Antarctica practice.
Yeah, you know what, man? He probably could. That Dan Campbell or something.
I think Hutchinson's gonna have Fields running on the field that day.
Yeah.
I am scared of Hutchinson. I really
Hutchinson's gonna be a thorn in Fields. Yeah,
hey yo,
he's the man. He's in the backfield 80% of the snaps.
The game.
By that time, Rashawn Johnson's going to be the starting running back for the Bears. So, and he's going to
the revenge game. Revenge game.
Yeah, that's what Montgomery said. He said they asked him, "What game are you more looking forward to playing this year?" He said, "I ain't even gonna lie." He held up that Bears seat. He came
yeah, I can see.
He's going to be injured by then. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. With the way he runs, absolutely.
Not with that O-line. He ain't gonna have nothing but cornerbacks to get away from. That's it. We gonna open up all that for him, man.
He tries to do two.
Y'all didn't open up no holes for him.
That's true. That is true.
We opening up some holes for him, so he'll be all right.
He tries to do too much himself. I think that's a big thing. So at Cleveland, this is an interesting game. I am actually going to say I'm going to give the Bears a loss on that one because I think Deshaun Watson, it's at Cleveland. And I think Deshaun Watson will be, back to, kind of full strength by then.
They're going into the wide 9 this year too. You know what I'm saying? They what's the my old coach? He the defensive coordinator for him, Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz is their defensive coordinator now, so he's gonna spread that Myles Garrett all far to that left.
Wow.
Although if the Bears sign Jadeveon Clowney, that would be a nice revenge game there.
You like him? Go ahead. You can have that.
I don't like him. No.
You can have that. You still looking at that? Looking at that South Carolina team. Yeah, I think his sack high for a year was 9. For the
was
Texans,
it really okay? This could be a revenge game though for Fields getting pissed off for how many times he was sacked his first start. I mean, the Bears.
Yeah, they tore his
Nagy did him dirty there, so it was not good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that's a loss. Tip, what are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I got a loss on that one too, man. Deshaun Watson's he's gonna come back for vengeance this season. He's gonna do something nice on that one. Yeah.
I see the Bears beating Arizona. I think they're in the running for one of the top picks. I think they're kind of tanking as well. We'll see if even Hopkins is there at all. They may trade him. If they're smart, they would trade DeAndre Hopkins.
Probably after June 1st.
Probably. Yep. So I'd say that's a W. Atlanta at home versus Atlanta. I'm taking the Bears on that one. That's I feel like everybody who left the Bears went to the Atlanta front office.
Mine too.
Yours too. Yeah. Phil Emery though has just retired from the Falcons. But Tip, what are your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, it's in Chicago. Atlanta. I mean, they're gonna try to keep the ball away from them as much as possible. Run the ball again, 30, 40 times. But I just feel like that's gonna be. Oh, we got another Packers. Okay, all right.
Rev Trev has joined us, so we're finishing up here. We were both picking Atlanta. The Bears to beat Atlanta. Week 18 at Packers here. I've already picked the Bears to win week 1. Trevor, what are your thoughts on week 18 Bears Packers? Who wins that game?
That's a good question. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, who would know at this stage? We don't even know what the defense looks like. So we'll just go.
You're stalling. Oh, okay, there we go.
Because why not? I mean, I can say anything. We're going to win the Super Bowl this year. We're going to lose every game. I don't know. But
Yeah,
no,
we got y'all winning.
I
We got
am
y'all
I am
winning 4.
personally- I'm excited about the Packers Bears games personally. Like when the schedule came out and saw that we played you guys the first game, I was super excited, absolutely pumped about it. So I do look forward to that week 18. It's just hard to know if that's going to be a significant game. Is it going to be like the Lions game where like you got to win and you're in, you know, and you don't want to lose a game 2 years in a row. So yeah, it's going to be super interesting in my opinion.
Tip, what are your thoughts on that one?
No, Packers. Nah, man,
Yeah,
they not gonna have the
Packers
juice,
lose,
man. By that time they're gonna be sitting all their starters, packing it in, getting ready to go to Cabo, wherever they're going. Yeah, it's a wrap, man. Yeah,
I agree. So, and I was.
Wait a minute. You're saying we're not making the playoffs?
You're not. You're going to Cabo.
No, you're not making the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
No way.
You're going to Cabo.
So
no way. How do
You
you know
should.
that?
I'll get you a ticket to Detroit for the draft, man. You can stay with me.
No, but in all wrong, you guys have already counted us out. You haven't seen us play yet?
It's a wrap.
We'll go back to your schedule. We'll give you a shot at the schedule too, real quick. But I'm actually pretty conservative on wins and even less than you, Tip. And the Bears are winning 10 games. I have the Bears winning 10 games. You have it looks
What?
like have the Bears winning more than that, Tip.
10 games.
10
You
games.
won 3 games last year. You're winning 10 this year?
What schedule wise, it looks
Say
good.
no to drugs, bro.
I even picked the Bears to lose to Denver here. Lose to Denver, lose to the Chargers, New Orleans. Wow, we're going. Bears are going to playoffs. How about that?
10 games. Are you kidding me? You just told me.
That's a lot.
You told me 2 weeks ago. Sorry, I'm hijacking this. You
Go
told me
ahead.
2 weeks ago that this is a building year again, and that next
is.
year, the year after, you're going to make the playoffs, and now you switch like that?
I saw the schedule.
You got to back me up. That's got to be nuts, right? Come on.
We went through the schedule, though, right?
I mean, you know what? When I look at the schedule, I see what he's saying, but like 10 just don't sound right.
It does. I agree. I'm a Bears fan. It doesn't sound right. But when you look at this, like, KC is going to be tough. I picked Denver to be a loss. Washington a win.
I don't know. Washington might be tougher than you think, but go ahead.
Sam Howell is Sam Howell, right?
He beat the shit out of the Cowboys last year. His one game was a good one. If Love is getting all this love off of 17 passes,
So 7 losses, right?
Washington does not have Packer fan love like that. Like they can just say, "Oh, hey, wow, he is an amazing preseason quarterback. Let's go, let's go."
I like him. He's gonna be better than Aaron Rodgers.
Bears are splitting with Detroit. They're sweeping Minnesota.
What?
Losing the Chargers.
Dude, come on. I feel like who are you right now?
I know.
The most sensible Bears fan I've ever met in my life. Well, no, I got another guy who's just like you, very good. And it's like you've gone off the radar here. You're gonna sweep Minnesota?
Oh yeah, we don't know what Minnesota is, right? Defensively, we don't know what they're going to be. They lost to Darius Smith. I know they're like, oh, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal, right?
They're about to give a wide receiver quarterback money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they ain't gonna have nobody. They ain't gonna be able to do nothing else. You know, they're trying to move all these pieces around so they can pay him.
I see the Bears losing to Cleveland. So, I look at the schedule. It's, I'm actually a little bit baffled. And actually Tip was giving some wins that I didn't. So
Tip, who do you like, Tip?
Who do I like?
Who's your team?
Well, so I'm a fantasy guy in heart, but growing up, my team was the Raiders. Not gonna lie,
Okay.
So it was the Raiders. But I do have the Lions winning this division this year.
Oh, absolutely.
I wrote an article, so I wrote an article on them. They're gonna be 12-5. But as far as my team, that's what I mean. It was
Awesome.
great.
I agree. 12 wins for the Lions. but yeah, crazy enough, the Bears could be up there. So let's go real quick back to the schedule. Give you a chance, Trevor. We were looking at the schedule and we saw maybe 4 wins here.
What?
4 wins.
Okay, guys. Okay, so who do you think we're beating here? I'm sorry, I'm probably extending this by a long time here.
No, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, we're going through this now. Okay, so apparently we're not going to beat Chicago even once, which
not at Chicago, right? We'll just start there, not at Chicago. I mean, it's Love's first game, right? I mean, on the road.
Yeah, in theory, yes. In theory,
Bears are favored by 2.5.
We got rookie wide receivers, tight ends, blah blah blah.
Bears are favored by 2.5. Packer fan told me that okay. Vegas knows what they're talking about. So
okay, so who is that? Sorry, never mind. Okay, Atlanta. We lose to Atlanta.
Tip.
Basically, we lose to everyone. If we get 4 wins, who do we beat? That's what I want to know.
So we went through the first 5
you lose. You lose the first
5
Are
weeks
you
with
kidding
L's.
me right now?
First 5 week with the L's. You're going into the bye week with possibly 1 win, maybe
against Las Vegas,
and that was against Las Vegas, is what we said,
guys. The first 5 weeks are really great for us. I mean, Detroit's tough. I'll give Detroit credit.
Come on, say Chicago's tough.
Kicks our butt, so I'll give you that one. Okay, but we're not losing to Atlanta. I would not be shocked if we beat the Bears week 1. We can beat Vegas. Who do they have a quarterback? Garoppolo? Are you kidding me right now?
I like Garoppolo.
So I picked
think he's okay.
I picked the Packers to beat
quarterback in the NFL.
Man, he getting free sex in Vegas for the rest of his life.
But the point is, you think they're going to go 0-5, 1-4?
So I have the Packers beating the Falcons, and they did not. I do think that do that, but Tip had a great point as far as they're going to run. Atlanta's going to run all day, right? And the question is, can the Packers stop it? They may be tired. I think that's going to be the big issue this year. Is the Packers defense is going to be tired. And if Love can't sustain drives, I think that's going to be a hard thing. But I mean, I'm 1 win there. I think I picked them to beat the Raiders. Raiders
on this podcast.
That's fantastic. No, I have them losing the Raiders. So we have them losing to Denver. Okay, maybe beating the Rams. No,
beating the Rams?
Nah.
No, losing the Rams. No. Who else do we have here?
Damn, who did we give the 4 to? I'm looking now. Oh, Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. I said Atlanta. That's 2.
You said
I said Carolina.
Yeah.
And then I said Jim was on. Jim said the Giants, but you guys
no, that's not happening.
And maybe at Pittsburgh.
Okay, so just a tip, you don't know me at all. Okay, I am not unrealistic in my like. That's I am. Fair. I don't know what kind of Packer fans you've talked to in your life. I am the most level-headed, realistic Packer fan you'll probably ever meet. Okay. I do not know how we're going to be this year. People keep asking me what our record is going to be. Okay, so just to clarify, because you don't know me, but I just can't see us like dropping. Like we're not like going to win 3-4 games. We're not going to we don't have that many holes. We just don't. Well, and I get that we're young and we're new. Now this is the problem. Okay, and I've made videos on this. So if our sophomores slump and our rookies don't produce, we're in trouble, right? And that's the problem is we're relying on that. Here's the thing about Jordan Love, and this Andy, you're gonna love this, okay? Because I think you and I need to do a video on this. I am floored at how angry Bears fans get because everyone craps on Justin Fields. Now, I'm one of the only Packers fans that likes Justin Fields, but everyone disrespects him. Now, fantasy-wise, everyone should be drafting Fields probably 6th round. You might be league winner if you do that, right?
Absolutely.
Here's the thing. The moment they get a wide receiver and they get a couple draft picks and they flip the switch and they treat Jordan Love like Justin Fields has been treated for the last 2 years. Everyone hates him. Jordan Love's garbage. He's got nothing. And it's like, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But why did the Bears fans flip? Now, is it only rivalry? That's what I want to know, Andy. Is it only rivalry? Do you actually believe that after sitting there for 3 years, learning the playbook, waiting for his opportunity, he's going to do nothing? He's like, I predicted that he's going to throw 17 picks. Okay. So I'm very realistic. He's going to be leading the league or in the top 3. Okay. But are you like, he's not surrounded by the Bears team that was surrounded by last year.
Yeah, I would agree on that. So what I would say to that is I think Jordan Love has a possibility of being good, but it's going to be ups and downs. It's not going to be right away. And, he could show flashes, right? But when you look at schedule-wise, I think it's easy to kind of look at, a team and say, okay, we've got talent. This is a 7, 8, 9, 10 win ball club. There are a lot of Bears fans last year that were saying oh yeah, we're going to make the playoffs. I'm like, no. And you know me, I was on the podcast and I was saying this last year was not about the wins and losses. Right. It was not going to be anything like that. On paper, it just wasn't. And some teams on paper can do well. The Packers do have talent on paper. But it all hinges around what Jordan Love's going to do in his development on that also to get wins. Because if he is not moving the ball down the field, if he's not sustaining drives, this defense, no matter how talented they are, they're going to get tired and they're going to wear down. And they're, maybe in games, like the Bears were in some games they shouldn't have been because Justin Fields was, doing some good things last year. So in a vacuum, you look at talent-wise, yes, but when you go through the schedule, it's hard to see many wins at this point in the season with the other teams on their schedule, the talent that's there, and then some of the games that are on the road. I think that's what I'm thinking. Is that Tip? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. That's where we had talked about. We said that the defense is going to be on the field so much because of possible turnovers, 3 and outs, too many 3 and outs, just not getting enough traction on the offensive side. So that defense is going to get tired. That's where we were coming from. And that's actually even before we said four wins only, we were talking about that defense. Because the defense is a phenomenal. It's like a badass defense. But how tired are they?
Bad defensive coordinator.
Yeah, you got to get rid of him too.
Yeah. That's kind of, and that's going to be a make or break year, for the coaching staff this year. And maybe I was even, talking trash and like, if the Packers obviously have a bad season this year and then they start out bad in 2024, what happens to LaFleur? What happens if he hasn't done anything to Joe Barry, right? The head coach has to make a decision. And if Joe Barry, and I'm hearing from a lot of Packers fans that he's been on the hot seat in their minds for a long time. And, if LaFleur hasn't done anything, and now when I look at this season for the Packers, I think LaFleur is going to have a short leash on Love, right? And that's kind of what he's wanted to have because, he wasn't going to have any leash on Rodgers. And I think that could, help LaFleur, but it also can hurt if they lose.
Not a finger's going to be pointed at him.
Yep.
And this is gonna sound funny, but especially from a fantasy outlook, they need to utilize AJ Dillon. Are they gonna utilize him the right way? It seems to me like they put him in there to spell Aaron Jones, or they put Jones. It just doesn't make sense. They need to utilize Dillon better. Yeah. They are just wasting his talent to me. I mean, that dude is a bruiser. That dude should be running the ball 15 plus times. I know you don't have a bunch of now the 20 plus touch running back is obsolete now, mainly, but they need to utilize him the right way. And last year, the year before that, they haven't been utilizing AJ Dillon the right way, in my opinion.
I agree.
Let's go real quick. We haven't really touched on the Vikings. Obviously, we don't have Shelby or Dave here, but just kind of looking at the schedule for the Vikings. They are going to, They probably will regress, because of all the one-score games they won last year, right? Week 1, I think that's a win. Week 2 at Philly, that's going to be tough.
Beat the shit out of them again. Go ahead.
I think so.
Philly's good.
Yeah, Philly's.
They ain't gonna be able to stop the Chargers.
Yep. So that's a loss.
Oh, they could. They could. Chargers are up and down.
Yeah, but they can't.
But I like the
stop
Chargers.
nobody.
Don't get me wrong. I'm saying, but they could
Stop nobody.
They're beating Carolina.
At Carolina, I agree.
Carolina get a bad rap, man.
Yeah, because they're bad.
Nah, Carolina.
It's a bad rap because they're
Carolina
bad.
was another one of those teams that started winning toward the end of the season last year when they were playing for Wilkes.
Okay,
and they played very well. They
I'm
got a
with
good
you.
defense.
But if you're gonna say Jordan Love's gonna suck after sitting there for 3 years learning the playbook, and the rookie's coming in and he's gonna be way better, and
Well, if he's more talented,
that's true. I would say Bryce Young is more talented.
he is. I'm not disagreeing with that.
I
what I'm
would agree.
saying is, can he see over the O line?
That's true. He looked
You
like,
didn't pick him, Andy, in our pool.
Nope, I did not.
You were worried about his height.
Yep.
in
Yeah,
fantasy football.
I am worried about. I am worried about. I think that they have the right coaching staff around him, and he has a good offensive line. They got a good O line there.
Okay.
So that might not be that much of a concern. You know,
Who's gonna stop Minnesota's offense on Carolina?
Well, if Minnesota doesn't have a running back, we know how to beat Minnesota.
Yeah, Madison. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if Carolina.
I ain't nobody worried about Madison. Nobody.
Okay. Hey, I don't mind hearing different perspectives. I just need a little time to think.
All good stuff.
If I can give a quick take on Minnesota real quick. Last year their issue was their defense. Their offense phenomenal. You can't take anything away from that. Their issue was their defense. What did they go ahead and do this offseason? They went ahead and hired Brian Flores.
Yeah.
Brian Flores,
he's a stud.
I don't know why I'm not even gonna get into the whole thing about what happened in Miami, but Brian Flores is a stud, just like you said. He is a stud. And it's crazy to think, we're talking about a person who doesn't even play on the field, but when you got a guy like that, that's going to bring that grit and determination to the Minnesota Vikings, he's going to get out of those guys that are mediocre, okay players. He's going to get what he needs to get out of them. So I feel like Brian Flores is actually going to help them a lot more. I'm surprised people aren't talking about him because that's what they needed. The Vikings have struggled for years. I mean, they used to have a nice defense a few years back, but for the last couple of years, they struggled with their defense. So I feel like Brian Flores is going to help them out.
And I would agree with that, but at the end of the day, the talent has to be there, and they've had cap issues. They've gotten rid of players. So
yeah, that Darius Smith was this head scratcher.
So quickly, kind of looking at the schedule, just kind of going through, and this actually surprises me as well, but I actually only have them winning 5 games. Tampa Bay, I have them beating Carolina.
Listen, you're losing credibility right now.
You got them beating the Chiefs?
Come on.
No. So I have them losing to
That's awesome.
or no, I have them winning at Tampa Bay. Are winning versus Tampa Bay, winning at Carolina. I have them winning at the Packers. I have them winning at the
Atlanta,
maybe, and then
you can't be picking Atlanta if you're going to do that many. Are they going to win? They're going to lose 8 games in a row.
I have.
You guys think Denver's good or something, right?
Denver
I do.
will be better. I think they will be better.
Vikings maybe 5-6 games. I don't know. I mean, it's
they losing to Cincinnati. Or they'll beat Vegas.
Beat Vegas. Okay.
Yeah, they're losing to Cincinnati.
I have them winning at Detroit at the end.
What about that?
Detroit?
What about that Denver game?
I have them losing to Denver actually. At Denver in that altitude.
But you know what? They losing in Denver. You said right? Yeah, they're losing Denver. Now, Denver got everything they need to shut them down. They'll put somebody on Justin Jefferson. You might have to worry about Addison. I don't know about him yet.
The only guy you have to worry about Jefferson is Jair Alexander, boys. That's it. Everyone else he can beat.
So 5-6 wins. Here Wheels Up has a comment. What is
Not
one team?
He played against Patrick Surtain.
So what is one team that we could all agree on, if it's outside of our division, to cheer for that you don't think encompasses all of what the NFC North has? Let me read that one more time. One team that we agree on outside of the NFC North to cheer for that we think encompasses, that's kind of more NFC North like. So,
49ers.
Well, but do we cheer for them?
Yeah. I cheer for the 49ers. That defense, man. I just love the way they play defense. It's fun to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trevor, you can't cheer for them though, can you?
No.
It's hard. Okay, so I had this incredible guy who was at our house. He's a German student that came for university, and he never watched a second of football.
Mm-hmm.
So he just decided to watch football every Sunday with me. Like literally, he was my guy. And he fell in love with the San Francisco 49ers. And I watched so many of their games this year.
They're a fun team. They're a fun team to watch, right? They're a fun team to watch on offense and defense. You're right. They're fun.
Okay, so the defense is the best in the league, in my opinion. Okay, but then they didn't have McCaffrey at the time, and then he gets traded there, and then who doesn't like the Purdy story? Like, honestly, like
that's a good story.
Irrelevant. So it's hard not to like them, but they have kicked our butts for years and years. It's so frustrating. They were better than us, so I'm giving them all the credit in the world. Yeah. But I don't know. I just find sometimes, you got to forgive and just move on. So I'm okay with them. I also don't mind the Eagles.
I don't mind the Giants either.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't mind the Giants either. I don't mind them. I like the coach and the way he coached the team up. I like the Giants kind of build the same kind of team. They always get a quarterback don't nobody else want and win Super Bowls with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Phil Simms, Hostetler, Eli Manning, like nobody likes them, but when they get into the playoff games and big games, when they get a good defensive line, they just do like the they win Super Bowls. They win. So I like the Giants too. I'm kind of a closeted Giants fan, and I think they would fit in our division because they're not like the best team ever.
They did beat the Vikings too, so that was kind of interesting. So Wheels Up here says the Chargers, So
he's saying if we put all of our teams together, what team would it be like?
Yeah. He said
it would
the
be
Chargers
better than every team in the entire league.
It'd be the Pro Bowl.
It'd be the Pro Bowl. I don't even know who would be playing quarterback, honestly.
Yeah.
We all kind of the same. It'd be Justin Fields because everybody likes the highlights.
Say that again.
It won't be no passing yards. It'll be 7,000 yards.
You probably got Kirk Cousins. You got Jefferson. You got Christian Watson. You got Aaron Jones running the ball.
Yeah.
Like you got Jair Alexander out there. You got I don't know. You guys got Lions. You guys got tons of corners that are studs, right?
Yeah, we just signed them. We ain't played yet. I don't know if
that would be the best. It's the only time we'd all cheer together.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wouldn't that be fun?
This has been a fantastic episode. We'll have to do this again when it gets a little bit closer, kind of talk a little bit more. I'm gonna look at that schedule again, but Trevor, maybe I went crazy here. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm literally shocked, dude. I'm like, what happened to my friend?
I'm drinking.
He got kicked off the NFC trash talk.
I got kicked off the NFC North trash talk.
I'm understanding why. Are we starting one or what? I said we got to start one now. Wouldn't that be fun?
Let's do it.
Let's all get in. Have fun.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, where can everyone find you again, Tip? Obviously, you got your awesome article on the Detroit Lions. Where can everyone find that?
Yeah, so you can go to Last Word on Sports. So Last Word on Sports are LWOS.com. But you type it in right into Google. You can search my name, Tip Major. You'll find my article. I have one on the Detroit Lions that I just did, and I have one on Breece Hall that I did before.
Ooh.
So that was a fun one. And coming out with a third one. I'm working on it right now as we speak. So should be coming out hopefully this weekend.
Very good. Speaking of Breece Hall, I traded him away in fantasy. Trevor, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, so Rev Trev K on Twitter, and then YouTube, I'm Kempner Sports, and do Packers and fantasy football content. And that tips on you checking your stuff out. So you're going to have follow from me.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
And seventh letter, where fun as always, where can everyone find you?
Seventh letter 4 on Twitter. Same OG on Instagram and Facebook. And catch me on the Las Vegas Detroit Sports Radio with my best friend who's a Raiders fan, who I crush every week. I'm gonna crush him tomorrow.
I've got the NFC North is crushing him too.
Now.
So
if I may, I forgot to do the Twitter handle. So I see you just follow me, Rev Trev. They appreciate that, man. So yeah, my Twitter handle for everybody out there again is LWOS straight, and that's STR8, the number 8 tipping, just like my name, TIPPING, and you can find me there.
Awesome. You can find me NFL Outdated on Twitter, YouTube, all that fun stuff. Once again, NFC North Freezin 4 podcast, episode 53. We will see who is in the cellar. I'm going to go with the Packers. This has been amazing. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Take it easy. Everybody be safe.
Yep.